Hi, my name is Roz Bateman-Smith and I'm a family law attorney in Sonoma County. Today I'm going to talk to you about filling out the petition for dissolution. The petition will be filed in the clerk's office in the county where you reside once you have completed it. Let's begin with the form is called the petition. It's form FL100. You're going to start at the top of the form, looking on the left-hand side. You'll put your name, your address, your telephone number, your email address, and if you are representing yourself, you're going to put next to attorney, self-represented. The next box you're going to look at is the location of the court. Where you're going to put the county that you live in is next to the Superior Court of California, County of, and insert the name of the county you live in and where you will be filing in that space. Also include the street address and mailing address for the court. The next box that you will be completing is the box that says the names of the parties. You will be the petitioner. In every form you file from this point on, you will be filing as the petitioner. Your former spouse will be filing as the respondent. In this box, you put your name and the respondent's names. The next box is what you're asking the court to do. You're asking the court to dissolve your marriage or your domestic partnership. There are two other choices, legal separation or nullity of marriage. Those subjects are beyond the scope of this video. The next point you'll be addressing is the legal relationship. The legal relationship is whether you were married, whether you had a domestic partnership that was made inside the state of California, or whether you have a domestic partnership from outside of the state of California. You can have two boxes that you'll check, married and that you got a domestic partnership. You can dissolve both actions within this petition. The next box you're going to address is the residence requirement. In order to get a dissolution in California, you have to have lived in the state for a period of 6 months and the county in which you're filing for a period of 3 months. If that is correct, then you can use this form and file for your dissolution here. The next area is section 3, and that's statistical facts. This includes the date you got married and the date you got separated. The date of separation is the date where you moved out and you both decided that the marriage was over and was not going to be repaired. If you have lived together and one moves out and then comes back and moves out and comes back, the last time they leave is the date of separation. You will also include the number of years and months you have been married. The next section, section 4, is minor children. If you have minor children that were born between you, either before or during the marriage, you will list them here. You include the child's name, date of birth, age, and sex. If you have a child that was born before the marriage, you can find out your steps by looking at sections C and D of the form. That information has been highlighted for your use. On the second page of each form at the top, you will see a box that says petitioner and respondent. On each form on the back, you will include your name and your former spouse's name in the order of petitioner and respondent as you originally put in the beginning of the form. In this section, section 5, you will be including the legal grounds for your divorce or dissolution. In a dissolution in California, you don't have to have a reason to get divorced. You just have to have what's called irreconcilable differences, which have caused the irremediable breakdown of your marriage. Also, your former spouse does not have to approve of the divorce. The other sections are used for a nullity of marriage. That information is beyond the scope of this video. The next section you're going to complete is section 6, and that is regarding child custody and visitation. Visitation is also called parenting time. Legal custody, you have a choice. You can mark petitioner, respondent, joint, meaning both of you have equal rights, or other. Suppose a grandparent has the custody and visitation. For legal custody that is regarding the child's school, medical decisions, religion, that type of thing that the parents must agree on. Physical custody is custody where the child lives. Where is the child primarily residing? It could be equal time with both parents. It could be that one parent has the most time during the week and the other parent has the child during the weekend. Typically, the courts will order joint legal and physical custody. But in the petition, you need to tell the judge what it is you're asking for. If you believe that it should be sole legal and sole physical, and you are the petitioner, you should mark those boxes. Child support. Child support in California is a requirement. You don't have a choice of deciding that you're not going to pay child support. What will happen is that the court will determine guideline support by inputting your time with the child, the amount of income you have, and the various taxes and other considerations. Spousal or domestic support. Spousal support is ordered. There are a number of factors the court will consider, including how long you were married, what your educational background is. One party may have stayed home and taken care of the kids while the other party worked. If you are seeking spousal support, you would check that box and put the box that you are the petitioner and you are asking for it. There's also a box to terminate the ability to award spousal support. You may put this if you are not seeking spousal support or you're asking the court not to order the other party to have spousal support. Item 9 is regarding separate property. Separate property is any property that you had prior to marriage or after the date of separation. What you're telling the court here is what your separate property is. Separate property is property that was acquired before marriage or after the date of separation. It could be a car, it could be a house, it could be anything that you acquired before marriage or after the date of separation. Item 10, community and quasi-community property. Community property and quasi-community property is property that has been acquired during the marriage. Quasi-community property is a property acquired during the marriage but is located outside the state of California. An example of community property would be a house that you purchased during marriage. It is also liabilities or bills that you have acquired during marriage. You would indicate this information here. Other requests are typically attorney's fees and costs. Also, if you want your former name restored, you can ask that your birth name be restored. The name that you had prior to the marriage is what this request is. At the bottom, number 12, you will indicate that you have read the restraining orders that are indicated on the back of the summons and that you understand that they apply to you once the petition is filed. Next, you sign the form under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that everything you've said in this petition is true. Also, be sure and read the notices at the bottom of the form. They're very important and include legal information that you need to know. Thank you for watching this video. We hope it helps you to complete your petition for dissolution. If you have further questions, you may check with a family law facilitator at your local court. Thank you.